Hello. We are talking today about some particular situation of a so-called legal hypothec. Hypothec is a Quebec word for mortgage, if you're not familiar with that. There are several situations when legal hypothec can be used, meaning that you're in debt to someone, or at least the legal reality is that you're in debt to someone, and that someone can put a lien, a hypothec link, to your property if you own any property, to guarantee this debt. But that's the mechanism. There are several particular situations when it's possible. The relevant articles of the Civil Code of Quebec is like 2725 and around that. One of them is, of course, if you owe something to the government body, government organization. Not everyone, but well, there are statutes about that. If you owe something to somebody by judgment, so the judge said that you owe this money, those are more or less clear situations, so we do not concentrate on those now. And one which is most confusing most of the times is a legal hypothec towards contractors, construction workers, somebody who was not even hired by you, somebody who might be hired by someone hired by you, who was not paid, even if you have paid everything completely for the work, but your contractor didn't pay his subcontractors somehow. Still, your property might be in danger in that sense, and you might find yourself in a unpleasant situation where you realize that there is a legal hypothec, a lien put on your property, and if you're not going to pay or you're not going to resolve the situation, in the most drastic situations for such a debt, your property might be put on sale under judicial authority or taken in payment, depending on what's the debt and what are the situations. So the article that we're discussing today is 2727 particularly, which treats it. It's not the only one, but this one brings practicality to all of that. First of all, there is a presumption that this lien exists for the first 30 days after the end of the work, and if it ever goes to court, as you understand, it will be a factual question, like when the work was actually over. And it's not always by simple like signing something or whatever. It might be by some presentation of like factual side of the story. Then, if it's registered within 30 days, it continues to exist for 6 months. And it continues to exist further on if within this 6 months, the construction worker, construction company, subcontractor, file a lawsuit against the owner of the property with respect to that legal hypothec. Why I said it is confusing? Because, as I mentioned, it might concern your property even if you have paid everything. But those people who were hired to work on your property were not paid for. To prevent such a situation, of course, first of all, it is important to review what kind of a contract you have with those who work on your property and what kind of powers to hire somebody else they have to work on your property and what kind of guarantee they might present that everything will be paid to them first from what you are paying and only then to the contractor and so forth. And in a situation when at least half, maybe more, of regular law-abiding good people are not even reviewing the construction contract or renovation contract, or don't even bother thinking that they are well protected by the regular status of our legal system. Here it is where you might find yourself in trouble. It is recommended, and especially if some significant amount is at stake, to review a contract with a lawyer before signing it. Preventing some legal trouble before signing something, it's easier than, as sometimes happens, even in my practice, when people first have signed something, sometimes even in a language that they don't read, and then come to a lawyer asking, what can I do now? I didn't know. I was stupid. I did not review. I trusted that person. Those are not good legal arguments, unfortunately. So it's better to review in advance. But at least, again, depending on the situation, from the practical point of view, if you face such a situation with a legal hypothec or with the threat of a legal hypothec, depending on the amount, of course, it might be a good idea to pay to those people, to those contractors. That way, like buying the debt and then go after the contractor for the money. But at least this way, your property will be safe. Of course, again, if you have a particular situation, it is advisable to consult your own lawyer, because, as you can see, those cases are very well depending on the particular facts, dates, amounts, words in a contract, in a subcontract, standards of industry as they can be proven, again, with particular facts and so forth. So, but for this general framework, if you have a particular situation, a good analytical legal work is very much advisable. Thank you, and have a nice day.